Hey everybody! Welcome back to Northernlion Plays The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. 25 wins in a row, a quarter century. What is this face, dude? Okay, so I got positives and negatives. Data miners and negative, don't get it twisted, okay? People who like data miner are the same people, you know, they will cry logical extreme, but also talk about logical extremes. Well, if you roll a natural 20 30 times in a row, you can get a tears upgrade. Forget this room. Give me an item. Thank you. I hate to say it. If I had more HP, I might consider giving data miner a... Well, if I knew how much HP I had, I might consider giving data miner a single play. But otherwise, you know, there's virtue in recognizing garbage and throwing it out as soon as you see it rather than letting it sit around. You know what I mean? What do I mean? You know what I mean. You know, everybody's had roommates. You go, hey, why is there a pan full of old eggs in the sink? Oh, I'm letting it soak, dude. When'd you have those eggs? 4 days ago. Oh, I didn't realize it needs to soak like a freaking, I don't know, like a dragon's egg or something like... He hit me. Straight up. I'm just... Where am I going with this? I don't know. The point is, data miner sucks. And if you think it's good, then more power to you. Show me your streak, please respond. If you don't think it's good, but you just want to point out situations where it could be good, you're part of the problem here, okay? Got him. I'm not super displeased to have remote detonator, you know. Makes the bombs substantially more useful if we're going to use them on boss fights. And of course, having the opportunity to actually use bombs to get tinted rocks is also valuable. We could have gone to the curse room, but you never know how much HP you have. So in general, I would rather not here, to be honest with you. No keys. That's right. We got no keys. I think this run has every available opportunity. You gotta get, there's always a weird little, like, Isaac hangover when you come off a run that had the D100. And our run didn't just have the D100. It was born with the D100 inside of it. Molded by it. It did not see normalcy until it was already a man. And it was boring! So I gotta remind myself, the fundamental skill you need in Isaac is not merely pressing the spacebar every 6 rooms and then hoping for the best. You know, there's dodging, there's shooting, there's planning, even. Not good enough. I'm gonna say not good enough, but I don't know if I believe it. Now, I feel vindicated slightly. You know what? I think Juicy Sack is fine. I think we did a pretty good job there. You know what? I would say a bomb is absolutely worthwhile here now. Crystal Ball is... I always call things underrated. It was. But in this case, specifically, I underrate, or at least often forget about the existence of this item. But Crystal Ball is like the best parts of the Sun card and the best parts of Book of Revelations, except sometimes it can also give you cards. Sometimes you don't want cards, but it can give you cards anyway. Sometimes you do want cards because you already got 12 HP. It's a give and take. Sometimes a card is worth more than a Spirit Heart, and I'm not talking about the Hierophant. Alright. Double Monstro is no joke when you can only get hit one time before losing your deal with the Devil Chance. Just gotta pay attention briefly. I see that Tinted Rock. 2 Spirit Hearts in turn. What would I want to see here? Honestly, I feel bad asking for anything because this run's pretty good, but you know, to give me some damage to... I'm gonna say no. What I wanted was some damage, because if we got some damage, you know, 3.88 is fine for now, but not good long term. we'd be happier. But instead, you know, we can do a deal with the Angel run here. Feel like we got every available opportunity. And I'm, you know, I don't think an apology's in order, but Crystal Ball is just more fun than Satanic Bible. Satanic Bible is also like a 10 out of 10 item. But Crystal Ball, I don't know, man. Mapping is really valuable. If you want to get to some place in the best way possible, you got to know where you're starting. You got to know where you're going. Otherwise, you could be walking in the wrong direction. That's even worse than walking slowly. It's not really meant to be like a, you know, self-helpy sort of thing, but you get the idea. I don't think I am going to go to the shop. You know why? I ran the numbers in my head really quick in the you know, Celeron 2 processor up there, and I figured simply enough, buying a battery charge alone makes this worthwhile because we're going to get a consumable out of it. But I mean, if we could also get Humbling Bundle, of course there was a better way to handle that. But now we go down to the next floor. We'll probably get our bomb back. We'll definitely get mapping unless we have the curse. By bomb back, I just mean literally any consumable. It doesn't have to be a literal bomb. Alright. So everything's going just hunky-dory here. What's going on in NL land? Nothing much, dude. It's a Wednesday. I'm really excited is not the right word, but I saw the trailer for the official game of the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. For those of you who are not aware, we've been playing London 2012, the official game of the 2012 Olympics, on and off for, you know, just about the last 8 years. This is they did do Sonic and Mario with the Rio games, but it was a whole, you know, back then Nintendo wasn't the biggest fan of advertising. And, you know, I'm not trying to rub it in, but they've changed. Walked right on the spikes. And I think that's good, but the game is made by Sega this time, so it's coming out on PS4 as well as the, you know, ye old Nintendo Switch. Either way, it's coming out July 24th, and it looks like it slaps. I just hope... So, I don't know if you grew up playing these Olympics games, but even still, they sometimes have, like, unique constraints that make no sense to me. Like, they'll be like, hey, it's Vancouver 2010, the official game of the 2010 Winter Olympics. No multiplayer. You're like, why? I didn't think people would want it. So I'm hedging my bets. You know, I'm excited and I'm hopeful, and I'm just putting two hands together and genuflecting that they're gonna just make the game and also make it multiplayer, even though, you know, sales-wise, it probably is not gonna, you know, necessarily do that well, but I would appreciate it. I love the, like, minigame collections. It's an underrepresented genre, in my opinion. No. Like, I know, you know, of course there's the Mario parties of the world, but, you know, we played Pummel Party, we played Party Panic, we played Move or Die. I just like minigames in general, you know, I like QTEs, so I'm like, an enemy of the gamers, I suppose. But I will say, you know, 8 years ago or 7 years ago, what was everybody annoyed with? QTEs. Oh, this game is just a QTE fest. Me, Galaxy Brain. Every game just requires looking at your environment and then inferring the response to stimulus you're supposed to do, but that's not really what you're asking, I suppose. Nowadays, what are people mad about? Loot boxes. I think it was better 8 years ago. My 2 cents. At least in terms of, like, what the issues that people are mad about. In terms of whether or not games as a whole are better now. I don't know. I'd have to look at the evidence, you know? I feel it would be disingenuous to say I think they're better now or better then. Because, you know, I think anyone that says either is trying to push a little bit of an agenda if they can just come up with it off the top of their head. You know, people that say games were better then. I really, I mean, I encourage the skepticism on this platform, to be honest with you. I think a lot of YouTubers, charlatans might not be the right way to describe all of them, but intellectually dishonest sometimes, whether deliberately or otherwise. You know, I'm just gonna tell you, everybody already knows you should be skeptical of the guy who only brings you good news. You know, what is he not telling me? The guy who thinks every game is the best game ever made and also gets a plethora of sponsorships from the same companies. Yeah, I'd be wary about that individual. But you also gotta be wary of the individual who tells you that everything sucks all the time. At least when it comes to games. Because if everything sucks all the time, I don't know. It always just strikes me that that person's using their ability to find a problem with something as a shorthand for why people should find them intelligent. But I've talked about this ad nauseum. We don't necessarily need to go down this road again. But whenever people are like, you know, games were better when I was 12, I'm always just like, maybe you were just a less discerning individual. Because I think games have been pretty good for, well, this year especially, but which is why you shouldn't trust me. No, you should only trust me, because I complain about many things. So when I say something is good, you should know that it actually is incredible. We do still have a bomb. Dude, this is a tough one. This is a really tough one. I'm actually going to take Holy Mantle out of all of these, even though Crown of Light is also extremely good. The reason is, I actually think it's a DPS reason, believe it or not. I think that Holy Mantle plus Orbital will allow us to kill enemies in rooms faster and also more safely than Crown of Light. Which, if we get hit, we just lose it, you know? Well, where was I going with this before I got all up my own butt? I don't remember. Onsus. Okay, well, that's a little, not necessarily relevant right now, but that's okay. I don't know. Have games gotten better or games gotten worse? I hate to, you know, anytime you take an opinion that's in the middle, because of the fact that we're almost in an election cycle now, from the US standpoint, and also the Canadian standpoint, people hit you with enlightened centrist. If you don't have an extreme opinion about video games, people are like, radical centrism. But like, you know, some games are better, some games are worse. The economic realities of games are worse, for sure. The fact, like, at least people care about crunch now, like, that's better. But, you know, games as a service existing to exploit gambling addiction while somehow appearing less harmful than gambling addiction, even though at least, you know, I would never make any excuses for gambling addiction. I feel like I was lucky for whatever reason. I was raised or born without the mental hooks that made me actually enjoy gambling, and I'm thankful for it. But at least when you gamble in a casino, you could win. It's not likely. And on a long enough time scale, you're guaranteed to lose. However, you could win. You could go into the casino, drop $100 and walk out with 500. With a loot box, you could pop $100 in, maybe you get $500 worth of stuff. But then a year down the road, when you're not playing the game anymore, you realize, I actually got $0 worth of stuff because I'm not playing the game anymore. You know what I mean? Anyway, we don't need to go down this road, but put me in the anti-loot box camp. Not to say I haven't purchased, I was gonna say my share, but like, I'm trying to think if I ever put in real money. I've probably spent less than $200 in the last decade on cosmetic purchases. I don't think that's that bad. I definitely, like, there was when, and I think, you know, I'm not trying to defend myself here. $200 is not necessarily not a lot of money, but that's $1.50 a month for 10 years. So most of that came in the first 3 or 4 years for sure. But I also want to say, like, you know, a lot of that was before the book was out on loot boxes, and everybody, or many people, myself included, got sucked into this idea that, like, you know, it's not really gambling, because I'll just buy a loot box in Counter-Strike Global Offensive, and if it has a knife, I make a lot of money. It was very dumb. Don't even get me started on PUBG crates. I don't even want to talk about it, but anyway. This doesn't need to be a loot box episode, okay? I will say it's on my mind, though, because, like, you know, I'm greatly enjoying Mortal Kombat 11, but the grind in the crypts to get skins and intros and brutalities and stuff like that, it's not really... I don't want to say it's pay to win, but the grind is substantial, for sure, without putting in real money. But then I'm like, I don't really care about getting an alternate, you know, Baraka skin, because I don't care, but, like, I can see why people do, but anyway. It's been on my mind is all I'm saying. Seems like, I mean, I have some, not sympathy, but understanding for the game developers. You know, you spend tens of millions of dollars, probably not hundreds in most cases, but, you know, tens of millions of dollars on a product. People pay the same price for it now that they paid for it 10 years ago, and, you know, they're going to play it for 3 or 4 years. You're like, how am I going to keep the lights on in between releases while we're working on the next one? Well, I mean, all I can say is I feel for you. I don't really have a good answer to that. If I did, I'd probably still keep making videos, but maybe also doing some publisher consulting on the side. But, you know, I guess there's right ways to do it and wrong ways to do it. You know what game does it really well? You're going to think that I've lost my mind. I have not put a dime into MLB The Show, and I should point out, I was sponsored to play MLB The Show like 3 times. I have also played it in my off hours for like 40 or 50 hours, because I love it, and it's my son. We don't need any of these other cards here, or runes, I should say. But I have not put a dime into packs in that game. That being said, for my, like, Diamond Dynasty team, which is basically like Ultimate Team, I got a team full of like 80 and 90 overall players just because they keep giving you free stuff just for playing the game. I'm not going to say, you know, there's probably people out there that are putting the, you know, credit card number into the machine. But in terms of like a bounty of free stuff, dude, don't even get me started on EA and the NHL franchise. You want to get a free, useful player in NHL Ultimate Team? It's like 30 hours of grinding over the course of a month. And then they'll be like, here's an 87 overall Joe Nieuwendyk. All right. I mean, at least I didn't have to pay $150 for it, I guess. But, you know, thanks for nothing. It's like I haven't talked to my kids in 2 weeks. I've been trying to grind out this 90 overall Ray Ferraro. But regardless, you know, I don't even know who half the baseball players in MLB The Show are that I got. Like, I got, they gave me like a big swooping animation on the last free pack that I got. And it was like, you know, 900 home runs, a 907 OPS. And I was like, dude, is this Babe Ruth? It was not Babe Ruth. It was Giancarlo Stanton for a New York Yankees. I was going to call him New York Lankies. I don't know. He seems like a power hitter, so maybe not that lanky to begin with. We tend to be on the stockier side. I say that as if I've ever hit a home run in my life. That's not true, actually. But anyway, I'm just saying. They do a good job of giving out free stuff. Don't take that as an endorsement. Just do what I do and don't spend your money. And if you have a predisposition to gambling, A, I feel for you. B, don't play these games. You know, ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. I still feel like, you know, you might think that the Star Wars Battlefront 2 was like the God of Dameron. Like, that's peak loot box legislation. I don't think so, dude. Like, I still think that there's going to be a much more serious conversation had about loot boxes at some point. Some senator's kid is gonna put like $3 grand into Fortnite over the course of a month, and then you'll start to hear about it. But anyway, I hit, and I remember this vividly, I hit 1 home run. I played baseball for like 8 years. I hit 1 home run in my entire career. And you're gonna wonder, how does he remember the exact number of home runs that he hit? Well, because it was special and also traumatic, so it's seared into my memory. Consistently, you know, like the teams that you play for in this, the softball leagues that I played for growing up, they were basically by region. So, like, if you lived in this part of the city, you played for this team. If you lived in this part of the city, you played for this team. For whatever reason, I was from a cursed region. We got, like, the dregs, myself included. We very often didn't have enough players for the age group, so we would have to take people that were, like, a year below us. So we would be, like, playing in the 12 and 13-year-old category, and we would have like 10-year-olds on our team, which there's a huge difference in terms of like sports prowess between a 12-year-old and a 10-year-old on average. I'm not talking, we didn't have Wayne Gretzky on our team, let's put it that way. So we always sucked. And then there was this one team that was always sponsored by the same home building corporation that was always great. And routinely, I mean, the way that it works, there were 6 teams in the league, right? I promise this is going to get good. There were 6 teams in the league. We almost always finished 6th in the regular season, and this home building sponsored team almost always finished 1st. So in the playoffs, 1 plays 6, 2 plays 5, etc., etc. So we would always play them in the playoffs, and we would consistently lose. This one time, they were like 6-inning games. It was the bottom of the 6th inning. We were down by, I don't know how many runs. We were down by a couple. There were a couple men on base. I got up. I hit a homer. It did not go over the fence, but there were some fielding errors. I went across home plate, and I started celebrating because I just hit a walk-off home run in the playoffs against the greatest team that our division had to offer. The umpire came over and gave us a 1-run penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct. You want to talk about a league being rigged? You know, oh, the NHL gave the Vegas Knights a 5-minute major. It should have been 2 minutes max. How about you're having a little pop-off because you just won a game that Nate Silver at 538 gave you a 2.5% chance to come away with your first career home run, and it's a walk-off? Comes over, -1 run. Got to go to overtime, lost in extra innings. I'm pretty sure the umpire was like the son of the person who ran the team. I don't know. But it was, I remember it to this day, because, I mean, that's basically just, I'm not gonna, you know, the umpire was like 14 or 16 probably. I'm not gonna say like, wow, he really screwed us, but like, you know, it's kind of a dick move. Let's just put it that way. Anyway, that might have been like the last year I played baseball. Not because of that, but just because like, I got bored. What did I do instead? I stayed home and played video games. So, you know, my kid, when they say, I don't want to play baseball anymore, it's boring. You know what happens? Crack of the bat. I'm not hitting my child. I want that to be clear. I'm taking them out for batting practice. That sounded more menacing than it had to be. Anyway, that's the story of the 1 home run I ever hit. I was not a home run hitter, despite playing first base. First base, you're supposed to... I mean, basically, here's what you do on first base. Hit home runs and hold your glove out on every second grounder so that you can tag people out. Here's what I actually did. Walk or hit singles. Probably 1 every 4 times I was at the plate. And actually field at a high level. I don't know why I was playing first base as a decent fielder. But anyway... The team sucked, so it didn't matter. You just play them where you can. Grab this. I'm sorry. You know what? Just take me. I don't want to be here anymore. 98 keys, huh? My favorite boy band, 98 keys. It's all because of you. I can name 2 98 Degrees songs. Don't get it twisted. True to Your Heart, featuring Stevie Wonder from the Mulan soundtrack. The sun. It's all because of you. We talked about it like maybe last week on the NLSS, but I got a theory about 98 Degrees. Nobody remembers 98 Degrees songs because they were the 3rd best boy band of the 1990s and 2000s. But the first 2 were so far ahead in popularity and, to be honest, quality of 98 Degrees that their legacy has been, like, completely erased. I don't know who else could be considered the 3rd best boy band, okay? I know if you're from England, you're like, 5! Okay, whatever. I don't listen to foreign music. I only listen to Bryan Adams, Avril Lavigne, and Jim Carrey singing I Am the Walrus. Look it up, it exists. Goo goo gajoob to you as well, fine scholar. Please let me in. I can't believe, by the way, our DPS is like almost the same as it's been for the entire run. I'm not saying like, is that bad, but like, would it kill you to give me a damage upgrade? Chemical peel counts, but like not for very much. I'll keep kicking these bombs in, but like... I'm telling you, you know what? You might say, NL, this is what you get for not taking Crown of Light. I very much disagree. I think Holy Mantle, you know, the fact that our DPS is so bad is only making Holy Mantle shine that much brighter. I don't know. I guess more bombs. It's not a slow run either, but that's mostly because we know where we're going on every floor. Rude. Well, I'm caffeinating. You hit me with a little bit of irony. How dare you? Whatever. Just give me an Emperor card, dude. We know where we're going. Going straight to the cards. Empress. And a Sun card. Well, I mean, we could use Temperance, but like, what for? We don't need speed. We don't need HP. I'm not saying it's a waste of our time. It's more like I think losing our red hearts could be deleterious overall. I hope it isn't, but the reward is not worth the risk. I will say, you know, like, why not just walk over it? But I will say, I'm feeling good. I feel like I've hit that point in Isaac, and this isn't just about Isaac. It's about, like, any thing you do consistently. Maybe it's reading. Maybe it's food prep. Maybe it's working out. Maybe it's going to sleep at the right time. You know? Maybe it's as simple as going for a 20-minute walk once a day. Maybe it's as simple as getting your mail. But once you settle into a routine, it stops being effort and starts being effort to stop doing it. That's why I feel like I'm in a rhythm in Isaac right now, where, sure, the runs have been good, but also we're playing pretty decently, and as a result, doing the right thing most of the time, it doesn't feel like work anymore. It's what we do. And what we do is not open that chest, apparently. So I'm getting a little bit up my own butt about it, no doubt about it, but, you know, after 25 wins in a row, we've been doing some things right. This is not the longest streak we've ever had, but it's probably approaching top 10 status. And that's good enough to hang your hat on a little bit. I mean, when you've been playing this game for as long as I have, for anything to be in even the top 100 is kind of like, it's an area of exceptionalism, I suppose. Alright. Good Empress card, good Empress card. So I'm feeling like we're in a groove. I think it's almost like in Slay the Spire when you're doing those challenge runs, you know? Halfway to 999 block is not 499.5 block. It's like 100 block. Because once you get to 100, it's only a few doublings away. And that's where we're at in Isaac right now, I feel. I guess we might as well. How I feel we're at in Isaac right now is, you know, what's halfway to a 100 streak? Well, I don't know. It could be 50, it could be 25, or it could be 99, depending on the difficulty of the runs. But I think in terms of our own performance, we got very little to complain about right now. Just hanging tough, staying hungry. It's the eye of the spider. It's poison in one bite.
The tower.
Will we fight Mega Satan? I'll tell you, I'm not fighting Mega Satan with 5.88 damage. So if you want me to fight Mega Satan, then do me the service, please, of providing me with, like, And it has to be a pretty good damage upgrade. I just want to be clear about this. Like, I want a damage upgrade, but it has to be better than just, like, here's some damage. I know that's very spoiled of me, but... if you're gonna give me a damage upgrade and hope that I fight Mega Satan, it better be like a Cricket's Head Magic Mush sort of situation. Because our DPS is horrendous. And again, I feel vindicated entirely by... that was not smart. I feel vindicated entirely by the existence of Crystal Ball. Or not Crystal... well, Crystal Ball's been amazing, but the existence of Holy Mantle. If I had taken not Holy Mantle, I would be displeased. I think I would take Crown of Light. Sure, we would have 8 rate of fire, 10 damage. You know what I call that? Still a slightly mediocre run. In terms of DPS, at least. We get hit once. It goes down to 8, 5.58 damage. You know what I call that? The exact situation we're in right now, but without any invincibility. AKA not so good. The orbital allows us to do some amazing stuff like this. Well worth it. Don't get cocky. Just stay in there. You know, if you gotta drop a bomb, you got 14 of them. There's real value to be had. Anything that stops him from getting into, like, a sustainable loop where he can actually send those difficult shots at us. And if we can even just run tangent to the curve on him a little bit, you know, hit him with just the slightest bit. See, he got in on us there. Of orbital damage, I'm a happy man. He got interrupted there. I feel like that's pretty positive. What on earth happened there? He's done, right? There we go. Alrighty. I'm telling you, you know, you would not do the Mega Satan fight if you were in my shoes on this one either. Curse of the Blind. Alright. Well, this should be interesting. Butterbean. Pretty much useless. Virgo. Sure. Leo. Sure. Technology 2. Actually lowers our damage. But it does give us some more killing power. Dude, here's the deal, alright? I'm going to Blue Baby. If we get good enough to beat Mega Satan en route, sign me up. If we don't, I'm toughing this one out in the situation we're in. I mean, look at this. Look at this. It's garbage, dude. Thank God, Virgo is actually extremely helpful. Now, we run the chance, in a good way, of getting a decent amount of items, I would say. He runs 4 times. You know, 2.23 luck is not a bad place to be. Man, look at this incredible DPS. We're still gonna get there. I actually think it's way closer than it has any right to be, though. Okay. Hagalaz and Death. Hagalaz is completely worthless on this floor, but, like, Death is okay. At this point, I might prefer Spirit Hearts just so I can, like, ride out the danger, but... you know, it is what it is. Battery? Just a single battery charge, please. Alright, you are annoying. If I'd known that you existed, probably would have saved my bombs. Just trying to... this is next level strats for Carrion Queen. Trying to get both Carrion Queens to get hit by the same bomb. And dude, thank God, Juicy Sack, which is actually... no, that is Juicy Sack. Juicy Sack is, like an unsung hero for us right now. Is doing incredible work, giving us the ability to slow down time. I don't know, I literally opened up the chest and was like, I wonder what it's gonna be. It's gonna be a red question mark, brother. I guarantee it. Yikes. But you don't do beam attack. So I'm not sweating it. This is not the worst DPS we've had on the chest, you know, ever, but it's mighty low. Come on. Come on. It's like one of you's got to open up at some point. These enemies oftentimes die in like literally 2 hits. So the fact that we're still struggling against them is not an indication that we should be very confident. We're also out of bombs, which is hilarious, but... Okay, thank God. Popula Duplex is at least... It looks cool. We are going to get... Oh, dude, a second secret room? I'm not trying to complain. Like, we're in a good spot for survival's sake. But it would be real nice to be able to put out just the slightest bit more damage here for mental health. My own sanity, for example. Okay, what do you got? Spirit Hearts, Emperor card. Okay, so you got a sense of humor. That don't impress me much. Hanged Man. I mean, Hagalaz does not factor in. Hanged Man, Emperor. Okay, tell you what, check this out. Look, I got a sense of humor too. I really want to rush you down with this orbital. The Soul's doing incredible work. I really appreciate it. This Virgo, thank you. This is HP well spent as far as I'm concerned. Oh, I full screened by accident. That's a new one. Well, thanks for watching. 26 wins in a row. Not the most stylish one, but it happens. If you enjoyed the episode, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. See ya.